going to be a good one, Steve.
Oh, we started?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't say your...
Okay, look. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Chris.
This is how you start a podcast.
It's like some of my favorite things in the world. You know how you're like sitting there at night and you're like, you watch something useful on YouTube.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going to watch the thing and learn how to thing. And then it's like recommends and you're like, yes, I will watch that. And it's like, you might like this. And I'm like, yes, I will. Somehow, inevitably, my algorithm knows that I always end up on newscaster fails. Like, it is like one of my favorite hobbies. It's just live TV fails.
Oh.
And there's so many of those where they don't know they're on the air.
I love it.
And they're just talking about something really inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's that moment where they realize and they just want to just disappear. Like you could see it where they're just like, is this happening right now? So yeah, we've had a couple of those, but we get to edit.
Yeah.
Man, the live TV or the sportscaster that just mixes up the wrong word with the
yeah.
wrong, like that. And you're just like,
They're the best.
When your just face must just
They're
get
the best.
so like,
yeah.
you just want to disappear into your... Anyway, so yeah, that was the moment. Are we on the air? Yeah.
Or there's Trump that just does it
Does it on purpose. Yeah. It's part of his brand. Which you got to appreciate that too. Just not caring. So, we should do a pivot. I know you love a good pivot.
I feel like doing a pivot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pivot your brains out.
All right, guys, you need to like this video and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, leave like a review, like a 5-star review. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Obviously.
A 4 will go too. I'm good with a 4. A 4-star is good.
Okay.
Okay. And just like, leave your questions also on YouTube or even on the link part of the show notes where you can just like leave any question you want, submit those, and we'll talk about them. We'll pick the best ones, and we'll make them as podcast topics, which is great for us and great for you. So we're kind of helping each other out. How about that?
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Even our sponsor, Audience.
Oh, that was a real pivot.
That was a pretty good.
That was
I'm
an actual
proud
pivot.
of myself.
You pivoted from your pivot.
Oh, dude.
You go, man.
Don't say it, man. Don't say it. I'm now very uncomfortable with this. So Audience, thank you for sponsoring this podcast episode.
Yeah.
Again, we're a huge fan of Audience products.
Yeah.
Recently, I talked about the new Aurea Mini, which where they teamed up with SonarWorks, which is a little box hardware to manage your room correction SonarWorks profiles, which is pretty good, So I've been using it since then. So it's still on my desk. And, just aside from all the nice preamps and, the nice interfaces like the ID series, like the one you use.
I use them regularly.
Yes, you do. And you're going to use them even more.
On the daily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the ID44 that you stole from me.
I did. I borrowed it from you.
I don't know. There's something
there,
man.
If you know I'm doing it.
There's a trend.
That's a borrow.
Yes. But there's a trend about you coming to my studio and leaving with an Audience product. I don't know.
There's been more than one. I think at one point I had 3 of them.
Probably.
I had 3 Audience products of yours at one point.
All right. What are we talking about today?
Today we are, this came about many episodes ago. You said something and I was like, what does that mean? And I can't remember what it was, the phrase.
Oh, okay.
You said something and I was like, what does that term mean? And so we have, like any inside, industry, there's terms that we use that not everybody understands, the inside terms, right?
And even on MCC, when we do like mixing feedbacks, we tend to say to to people, to members, like, hey, maybe it
sounds a little bit this or that.
Yeah, it misses this or something.
And then we have
to
stop and go, what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
So that's where this came from in my mind. I said, let's just each bring a few terms.
Because there's a lot.
There's a lot. I mean, like I have a list. Like my list is like,
and we actually never
my
talked
list
about
is this
Look at
long
that.
and going.
Okay.
Of me just like driving down the road thinking of words.
I have this.
That I
but
say a lot.
I'm not sure I have as many as
So
you do.
yeah, and so the thought was, let's just kind of try to define each other's words.
Okay.
And then we'll try to figure out what they mean.
Perfect.
Universally for folks. So
you go first.
okay. So Okay, so your mix, there's a couple in this category. Your mix has a bit of muddiness
Oh,
or wooliness. I hear that one.
wooliness. I never heard that one.
Yeah. So there's a couple that kind of just boominess. There's a few
Okay.
that are just kind of describing the same thing.
Boomy, muddy.
Muddy.
Yeah. Okay. For me, muddy right now,
Yeah.
it's low mids.
Yeah.
It's a lot of energy
Yes.
in the low mid section of a mix. You know,
Yes.
that range of frequencies, like between 250 and 500.
Yeah.
You know, and boomy could even be between 3 and 700 hertz.
Yeah.
You know, that area. So there's like two little low mid regions
Yeah.
that I always pay attention to.
Yes.
The 250 region and the 500
See,
region.
it's funny. My go-to, that's interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about this. My
No.
go-to is 150.
150.
That's my,
But this is bass, no?
for me, it's mud.
But it depends on which instrument.
Yeah. But for me, if something's sounding kind of muddy, that's where I'll go, that 150, 200.
Okay.
And I'll do a little scoop in there. And to me, that,
But actually, you're right, because I do so on bass.
Yeah.
Like the muddy range
Yeah.
of frequencies,
Yeah.
like for bass guitar,
Yeah.
I always cut at 140, 150.
Yep.
This little
Yeah.
tiny cut there can
Yep.
actually clear up the whole mix just with its relation to bass.
Yep. Where does the mud live? So
Okay.
that's muddy. Okay, good.
That's muddy. Low
Okay.
mids. All
You
right.
go.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, we're only two. You go. You tempted to say it.
I was tempted.
I was too.
You go.
Okay. What
Person.
about gluing the mix together?
That's the one that started this.
I think it was.
It was.
I
You were
think that's the
talking in a
one.
thing and you said something about it adds a bit of glue.
Yeah.
And I go,
And
what does that mean?
Yes.
And so your definition at the time, if I recall, was you were just saying it kind of everything moves together.
Yes. It was
If
about
it's, if
movement.
it's a compressor is compressing, it all is glued together when it moves.
It could also be EQ.
And EQ as well. A big one that brings glue in the industry, I notice, conversation is, I put this box on my mix bus and it glued the mix together, right? And so there is something about certain pieces of hardware and certain plugins that do that thing, and it's hard to
Yes.
define.
It
but
is.
it makes it sound. It's a whole bunch of individual pieces of a mix that suddenly just sound more
Work
cohesive.
together. Yeah.
They just sound
and
more
not
cohesive.
as separated.
And so the biggest one for me is compression.
Yes.
If you put the right bus compressor on a mix, it just, the whole thing just jumps in the same car. You slam the doors and it does a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, that's,
Another one can be reverb.
yeah.
Using the same space on a bunch of instruments. You know.
It will glue that band into the same room.
Yes.
or whatever.
So that's another
Yeah.
way you can glue things together.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
especially on a live album. You know, you use you have those
That's huge.
room mics and these when you bring those up, mixing
Mm-hmm.
a live album. This is where the magic happens.
Yep.
Now they were playing from the same stage.
Yeah.
You know, from the same events.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so that is a big one.
I-
So even if I fake, like sometimes, you do some overdubs
Yeah.
after a live recording.
Yeah.
I did that a lot. And that was the thing. I tried to recreate that exact live room we recorded with the two live mics with a fake plugin. The fake plugin. A real plugin. Plugin's not fake.
Fake.
No. A fake room. All right.
Fake plug-in. It's interesting.
It is.
It's a
quite
mind bender.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So, using a plugin, try to get close to that same room and just add it up on the mix bus.
Yeah.
And every time we're doing overdubs, it's just compensate with this room.
Good.
And that was the glue
That was the glue.
element
Yeah. Yeah.
of the mix. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
your turn.
This mix needs some more space.
Okay.
You need to create some space in this mix. We say that a lot on MCC.
We do. A bit more space. We're talking about ambience. We're talking about reverb, delays. We're talking about time-based effects.
Yes.
Usually,
Yes.
I would say that more than
Yeah.
anything else. Sometimes it's uncomfortable when there's no space around an instrument, especially a vocal. Even if you add a little tiny room
Yeah.
on a vocal, just
Yeah.
a little ambience, just a little space.
Yeah.
It sounds more natural. So, and sometimes you get some mixes and there's none.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
And that feels very odd,
Yeah.
So, space for me, it has to do with time-based effects. What about you?
The other way that I use it often, and I've used it on MCC without knowing it, is the opposite of one on here, which I wrote as dense. So your mix becomes too dense
Yes.
and you need to add some space. So that for me could be, you have 15 guitar tracks all resonating at 400 and you need to create some space in this mix.
Yes,
It's getting too dense and right. And so sometimes that's panning, sometimes it's carving some EQ here and there.
Yes.
So if your whole mix is sitting like a ball, you want to create some space, right? And so to me, that's another way we use space.
Okay, so mine next is going to be depth.
Yeah.
Okay, which is very similar because we can actually combine those two together at some point, you know? Because when I
I've got depth, I've got widen.
Okay.
I've got space. So they're all talking about kind of the same thing.
I think we're talking about the same thing here. We can actually combine these.
Thin it out is another one.
Yes.
So yeah, they're all kind of in the same.
Yes. Because when we talk about depth, we're talking about what is in the back, what is in the front, that relationship that you can like tweak with time-based effects like reverb.
Yes.
You know, more kind of a small room reverb will bring the vocals or the element up front opposed to a washy reverb. It's going to bring more in the back. EQ.
Yeah.
You know, so you just like remove the low end and remove the low mids out of a sound.
Yeah. Thin it out.
A
bunch of these terms are crossing, but forward and back is another one.
But
you need to move that forward in the mix.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like if you take an EQ with like a low pass filter, bring that down to 5K instead. You know, now for all of a sudden you remove all of the top end and high frequencies, the element goes back.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as upfront.
It's interesting.
You want to bring it up front, a bit of mid-range.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can play around with EQ to bring stuff up front and back.
So
again,
to a minute ago, you're now creating space.
That's the thing. It's all connected.
Yeah.
So space, depth.
Yeah.
Panning is part of it.
Too dense. That's a big one. Makes it sound too dense,
it is.
Right?
It is.
Where everything's pressed up against the glass. Just in a row, as opposed to all these things we're talking about. Forward, back, left, right.
And that could also have to do with compression.
Yeah.
Fast attack, slow attack. Now again, slower attack, transients are a bit more in your face. Okay, like a fast release is going to give way more sustain to a sound. Like, you know, stuff like that. So where everything is going to be a bit more loud and in your face, you know, like that combination of slow attack, fast release, or the opposite, and then you bring your element way more in the background with a fast attack.
Yeah.
You know, in a slow release. You know, like
I love it. It's so fun. We say this stuff all day, right?
I know.
And then how far down the rabbit hole do you go? Now you're saying like fast attack, slow release. Like I'm going to define this. So yeah, we're defining the definitions now.
But we're still talking about space and depth and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
I find it hard to say depth. Depth. Like
that's a tricky
one.
You
pronounce the TH?
Depth.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
Because or else it sounds like you're in depth.
Yeah.
In depth. Anyways.
Yeah. Depth.
The English language.
The what?
We don't have like H's that we pronounce a lot in French.
There's a whole lot of letters you don't pronounce.
We don't like to pronounce stuff.
There's all these letters, and then somebody says the word, and I'm like, what about all the other letters?
That's our thing.
Yeah.
Let's complicate things. So when Spanish people, like, you know, like Latino people, they come to Quebec or they're trying to learn French.
Yeah.
Like in Spanish, you pronounce every single letters.
Yeah.
Okay. And not in French.
There's a reason they're there.
Yeah, I know. With us, it's the feel, it's the look, you know. It looks pretty good, so we know what you're talking about, you know. But so it's funny when they speak in French, like they pronounce every single thing. And I've actually wondered before, it's like, oh, okay. So it's basically like us not pronouncing all of these S's when we speak English, you know.
Frustrating.
I know.
So what else you got?
Hit
me with another one.
Okay, what about your mix sounds scooped?
Oh, yeah. I wrote down smiley-face as my version of that here,
which is a very good way to see.
Yeah, that's the same idea, right? So it is. And it's common, and there was definitely eras in mixing when we were intentionally scooping mixes, which is, to me, you take a lot of the mids and just make and we used to have the EQ that was like all the sliders.
Yes.
Like the Alesis, and it would have like 30 of these things.
Yeah.
And you'd look at it and it would be a smiley face.
Yeah.
Lots of highs, lots of lows, and lots of the mids carve out. And
totally.
your EQs would look like a smiley face back then.
Love it.
And so you'd scoop it. So that was popular for a while.
It was.
And they made boxes. I remember like BBE and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we would buy boxes that would basically just scoop the mix with a knob. And it sounded awesome.
Yeah.
It still sounds awesome a lot of times.
The magic knob.
Yeah, they're still tight. And all it's doing is just scooping hard, right?
So, yeah. So that's exactly what it means when
Yeah.
we say, okay, your mix sounds a bit, because
Yeah.
we use that term when we do mix
Yeah.
revisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit scooped out.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. This EQ sounds musical.
Oh, boy.
This hardware is more musical than that hardware.
Man, that's a good one.
And it's a big advertising word.
It is.
It's a musical EQ.
It is.
And that's one I actually struggle with. What does that mean?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I
right.
saw it in an ad and I wrote it down on Facebook scrolling, and I'm like,
right.
musical EQ, and I'm like, what does that mean? I'm gonna ask the professor.
It sounds professor. Oh man. I think what sounds musical is maybe what doesn't sound too linear or has a bit of character, a bit of vibe. I would say, like,
Yeah.
generates harmonics and stuff. Maybe I can translate it that way.
Yeah.
That, yeah, when you put it on, you boost some frequencies and actually does something more than just boosting.
Yeah. I think the best thing I came up with in my mind
What do you say?
when I saw it was that it's pleasing to the ear.
Probably harmonic
we
contents.
picked, but even then, let's say we've picked the most musical frequencies. We
Yeah.
give you 4 frequencies, and they're the most musical. And I imagine there's some science there.
Probably.
There's some science that this frequency is pleasing to the ear, and this one is as well, and it will cut something that is less pleasing and whatever. So yeah, maybe it's that simple.
Maybe
Your
that's-
brain
yeah.
likes it.
I think so.
Like I'm playing with some. I'm now in the world of a professional ADHD person,
Okay.
having been recently diagnosed, and there are entire things like products. There's apps now that create tones, the solfeggio tones, I think they're called, but they are mathematical tones, and there's like 5 of them, and you boost them, and they go into your brain, and it makes your brain do something interesting.
Yeah.
And it does. And so you kind of find the one that you like the best, and then you go to sleep, and there's an app now that kind of builds soundscapes around that tone
way.
using AI, and it's
Okay.
super interesting, and it really messes with your head, for me anyway. But it is literally like 440 hertz. Like, they are tones. And so I think the science now is grabbing onto this idea
Interesting.
of what Mr. Neve was doing, what Rupert was doing
Okay.
60 years ago with his EQ, where he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if I boost this, people feel better. And it's amazing how often the tones are the same
There's
things,
psychology behind it.
where
That's
the
what you're
psychology
saying,
is doing a thing to your brain, right? And so maybe
Interesting.
that's where this musical, maybe that's how we're trying
Okay.
to explain that it's just pleasing.
I'm
pleasing,
getting curious now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to dive into this.
Solfeggio, I think it is. Solfeggio. I think it's called.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's an interesting
Okay.
concept.
All right. So another term that we can use.
Yeah.
That a lot of people, I don't
Yeah.
even know if they know what that term means. Stems.
Yeah.
What are stems?
So to me, a stem would be just exporting groups of things,
Yes.
logically grouped,
Yes.
right?
Like drums.
The drum stem. But then depending on where it's going, you might break them into smaller stems or larger stems. So it might be like, here's all my cymbals as a stem,
Sure.
but here's the
Yeah,
kick
yeah.
alone because I know how you like to mix. Here's all 4 snares as a snare stem, right? So
Yeah.
it's a conversation between you and the
Yeah.
receiver.
But for me, stems is even after the mixing process.
A lot of times, yes.
You know, like
Yes.
because or also just like send me the tracks,
A vocal stem
send me the multitrack.
is,
you know?
it's lead vocal, the background vocals.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's your vocal bus.
Acoustic guitars, electric guitars,
And a
you
lot of
know.
times with all the stuff on it, what you're saying.
Yeah.
With all the makeup on there.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the goal of getting stems is basically sometimes it's just like to use live.
Yeah.
Use tracks live, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah,
That is a
send me
big
the
thing.
synth stem.
Yeah, they're mixed.
That's all the synths from the album.
Yeah.
As a thing they can just turn up
Exactly.
in the house.
And same for the vocal. Like that one lead vocal,
Yeah.
once it's mixed, it's a stem.
Yep, it is.
So.
Yeah,
But there's a confusion about multitracks and stems.
sure.
So I think that
Yep,
clears things up.
yep, yep, yep.
Okay, cool.
Crush this mix for me. Crush the drums. Or your mix sounds too crushed. Or crush the bass harder.
Yeah, reduce the dynamic range. This is exactly what it like, put a ceiling and push it.
And a floor.
And bring the ceiling and the floor closer
and
together.
Crush it in between those two. That's good.
That's exactly it. You know?
No, that is. And sometimes that adds a sonic quality that you want or don't want. If you crush the drums, they sound different. It's not just dynamics. Something's happening physically. Like a lot of times they start to sound like a car crash when you crush them too hard.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Like it's like it becomes a bit of a distortion pedal.
Yes.
Effect.
No
right?
life.
So sometimes you want to crush drums because it sounds neat.
Yeah.
And they just get that super crush sound that people like.
Sometimes crushing like drums, for example, can bring a lot of energy.
Yeah. And sometimes you crush
the opposite.
Sometimes you crush it when you parallel.
Yeah.
And you have a second bus that's just a crush bus getting mixed in.
Yeah, you're right.
When you parallel.
Oh, man, episode after episode, you're getting better.
I'm going to be French by the time we get old and retire.
You'll eat a poutine and you'll know how it tastes.
You got one more?
I have one more.
Let's do one more.
Okay. Vibe and character. That's hard.
That is hard.
That's hard.
And used a lot.
Yes.
Let's end with this one. This is fun.
Okay.
And then we can do 10 more episodes. Add more to the comments.
Okay, yeah.
This is a fun one. This is a fun YouTube one. Add more. Let's do this again.
Okay.
Let's do these like once a month.
Sure. I would love that. It would
fun.
be cool, yeah.
And add your definitions to these.
Sure.
This is kind of fun. This is
Definitely.
fun because we're just guessing here. I don't think there's an official answer.
It's
anyway.
our perspective,
yeah,
you know?
It's all urban.
Well,
It's
might
just,
be way
it's
off.
slang. It's just slang anyway. So vibe and character that's a hard one.
It is.
I mean, the first word that comes to mind is personality, but then now you're just making more words to define that you need to define. Vibe and character, I would say, are intangible things. They are the things that you're adding or taking away that you can't say what it was. So you mix something and it's really vibey, and you change something in the mix and you're like, oh, the vibe changed. And nobody can tell you what changed.
Yeah.
You know you took 185 out of the bass, but it was bringing some vibe.
Yeah.
So you changed it, and the artist goes, the vibe feels different. You know what you did.
Okay, so vibe,
It's an
the
intangible
way I see, the way
thing.
you explain it,
Yeah.
is all about emotion, how it makes you feel.
Correct. Personality, emotion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not something technical.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think you can.
It's not something like, okay, you boost to 100 hertz and you get vibe.
That's right.
No.
Because it changes on the next song.
Exactly.
So you find the vibe for that song in that moment. And a lot of times you can't recreate it. The guy had a lot of vibe in that guitar solo. And he could play it 100 more times and it won't have the vibe.
Okay, but when we say like, there's a unit, okay, yeah, have you tried this compressor? It has so much vibe and character.
Correct. But then you say, what does it do different? And everybody goes,
Exactly.
And so it's that. It's the
Exactly.
that it does something, but we don't know what.
You know it does something,
and
you
then
feel
even
it.
the company comes along 20 years later and reissues the box, and it doesn't have the vibe. And everybody's like,
True.
it's the same thing with the same name, doesn't have the vibe.
True.
Because the components combination was different.
I remember Eric Valentine's on an interview, it was on a podcast. He was talking about that snare he had back in the day, where they never changed the skinhead.
Yeah.
Like, where they never changed the drum head.
Because skinhead's a whole different thing. I'm from LA, and I had a few of those as buddies. They have nothing to do with the drum head.
Oh, I love being French.
I love that you're French. Because technically you're
vibe and
right.
character.
Because technically you're right. It is a skinhead of the drum.
Getting back to Valentine's.
Yes. It's not a skinhead.
So, never changed the drum head.
Yeah.
For a reason.
It
Just had that sound, that
It had
vibe, and that character. And they ended up changing it. I think it was even by mistake.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Some intern did it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
something
while
like
everybody's
that.
sleeping.
Oh, here's a brand new skin.
I made it better.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not the same snare anymore. You know, so they kind of lost that vibe and
Or
character.
just like
It's
a couple
weird,
weeks ago, we were talking about Bluey.
Yes.
CLA is like and they're they took the vibe of that box and tried to emulate it, right? And so it's just an 1170 among all the 1176s that have ever been made. It has a different vibe.
But it does.
So it's an intangible thing.
Yeah. So under the box could be a combination of so
Yeah.
many elements blended together
Yeah.
that gives you that vibe and character.
Yeah.
You know,
People have it.
could be like EQ curves.
Some
with,
guys
like,
just have a good
saturation.
vibe. People walk in the room and you're like, that guy's got a good vibe.
Yeah, there's
he looks
that.
just like all the other people. He's wearing the same outfit as that guy,
Yeah.
but his vibe is just different.
Like
You could
people
say the
watching our
same sentence.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's like these guys have a good
These
vibe and
guys have great vibe.
a lot of character.
Questionable character.
Lots of questionable
Mediocre
character.
personality, but a lot of vibe.
Vibe is there.
Here it is.
There you go.
Do we have a question this week?
I think we do. I think we do. But let's do this one again. I love talking about terminology.
I agree. This is just subculture is
It's
fun.
Awesome. All right. What do we have?
You know who could call us out really, really well on this is when we're on those MCC things and we're just spouting words at people. That's where some of these came from. Like
Yeah.
we're like, hey man, your mix sounds a little woolly or whatever. Like, and we just say it, and nobody like they can't respond and be like, what are you talking about? So that's a great time. That's a great time to tag Chris when he says stuff that doesn't make sense. Talk about skinheads.
I love it. Okay, so the question we have on the list. You're done?
I was itching my eye.
Okay.
It's a problem now. I wear glasses. I can't get right to it. You got to go up under the hood. It's a whole thing, man. My eye itches. It's a process.
Okay, the question is space in the mix without reverb.
Hey, we just covered that.
It's funny because we did. Let's like elaborate a bit more.
We
then.
actually
Okay?
yeah, just covered that. That's amazing.
So space in the mix
That was-
without reverb. So for okay, you need to add space. We talked about the definition of space earlier. So now let's add space.
And we talked about using reverb and time delay to do it. That was your go-to.
That was my go-to.
My go-to is pan.
Yes.
That's my, if I need to add space in a mix, the first thing I reach for is I'm just going, things are too clumpy. There's it, and again, it's the pan the pan and that low mid. Those are the two. Where
So EQ.
I'll start messing with that
Yeah.
150 to 200. That'll
Yes.
instantly add some space for me, and I'm like, who doesn't need this 150? The background vocals don't need it.
No.
So let's take away 150, 200 from them, and we can high pass them a little bit.
So now you're leaving space for the
for,
bass.
for the guys that
kick.
need that real estate. 'Cause it's valuable real estate,
Yes.
and so I'm creating space for them. So it's space will come from a bunching of EQ, and sometimes you need space at the top of the mix. Sometimes it's too 8K. I need space up there. So who can I give that space to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's who's getting each bit of real estate in the EQ and giving those guys the space they need to live, and then panning, right?
Panning plays are
clumping.
huge.
Everybody's clumping on my left ear a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can pull some guitars over there, and
Yeah.
so that's it.
Yeah. So if I remove reverb out of the equation
Yes.
to add space,
Yeah.
delay is going to work well. Like even a slapback delay, just
Delay's
add
amazing.
or a stereo delay, short stereo delay, just to add a bit of space.
And you to where you don't even have to hear it.
So that
You
EQ the
feel
delay
it.
then.
You just feel that.
So you want to
delay.
feel a delay, high pass, low pass that delay, man.
Yeah.
Even better. This is what I like to do, to high pass, low pass the signal feeding the delay.
I like this.
and not necessarily the delay itself.
Interesting.
Everything works, but
Yeah.
it kind of keep the delay sound a bit more natural. But what is coming in the delay is
Yeah.
already filtered out.
Okay.
And it
I
works.
like that.
It works. It's something.
I don't do that move.
but it gives you vibe and character.
I love vibe and character. And that's what I need. I need more vibe and character.
think
Julie's
so.
like, you don't need more vibe and character, Steve. There's way too much of that going on in our house. That's all you have. Why don't you add some substance?
Some substance. Look what I did here.
That doesn't ever need to be said again.
That was a bad dad joke.
That was bad. It was just bad.
I'm not getting any younger.
It was just bad. Sometimes even dads don't need to claim every joke. Boy, there's dad. I'm a dad. I don't want to claim this one. That's all you. That was just a Chris
That's
joke.
the thing, with my kids, I always come up with the lousiest
I know. Me
dad
too.
jokes.
Me
It's
too.
the best.
Me too.
Their reaction is priceless.
That's amazing. That's
They're
fantastic.
just laugh, but with discouragement,
Oh, they're just so sad
without any vibe and
while
character.
being so sad. Yeah. don't know what you're talking about.
So I was talking about adding space without the use of reverb.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I talked about delays, a bit of slapback delays,
yeah.
delay and
Yeah,
stuff.
slapback, to where you don't hear them, you just feel them.
Yes, exactly.
Yep,
and
good.
that's why, high pass, low pass, the stuff. Then EQ for me is a big thing.
Huge.
Like you want to. It's all about creating space for, let's say, the kick and the bass. Let's say guitars in relation to low-end instruments, and things like that.
And it's a wonderful time for subtractive EQ.
Totally.
Define the term.
Totally.
Since we're on the defining term
What
episode.
does that mean?
That means we take EQ down, not add.
Yes.
Right? And so and it's funny, as studio mixers, oftentimes we add.
We do.
We add. Live guys do a lot of taking away, I find, when you're live mixing, right?
Oh, yeah, for
because
sure.
things start ringing and
And
there's
you start with
a
feedbacks and
reaction to you adding
Yeah.
frequencies, where in the studio there's not. It just gets better and brighter,
Maybe that's
especially
why-
when you solo.
Maybe that's why I have a tendency to cut more than boost.
Yeah. I have a tendency
I
to
did a lot
boost.
of live stuff,
Yeah,
you're right.
but I solo something and I add until it sounds
But
nice.
I never thought of the link between live mixing and
Yeah. That's a
and
big one.
subscribe-
It's a
Yeah,
big
that's very good.
Yeah, and a lot of guys that do live will subtract for space, right? And so that's a live reflex. So yeah,
It is.
it is. So that's where subtractive EQ helps a lot when you're trying to make space. I think is finding what's there's
totally.
too much of and then making it go away.
Totally.
As opposed to brightening this, make it less
Yeah.
muddy.
So you'll create
less
what?
muddy.
Exactly.
Ta-da!
If there's mud,
Mud.
and that your kick and bass are fighting in the same frequency range
Let one of them win.
at 140
Yeah.
hertz, for example,
Yeah.
bring down that bass.
Yeah.
At that frequency,
Yeah.
And now you're going to create what? Space for the kick.
Space for the kick.
So
I love it.
space doesn't have always to do with time-based effect like reverbs and
Correct.
That is one kind of space.
It's giving each piece enough room to be
To
itself,
live together.
to be itself, right? Move them
Exactly.
into different apartment
Yeah.
rooms. They don't all have to be crowded into one room. You've got a whole building. Like, let them spread out, right? So find a little space for each guy to live happily.
So yeah, and same for panning. You mentioned
Yeah.
panning, and that is
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
What about Atmos?
Shut up.